All right, friends. So what I'm working on today is the front end of this beast. Let's go check it out. So as you can see, the front bumper is pretty ugly, pretty beat up. It's all sun faded and whatnot. But what's going on is, if you can see, I don't know if you can see in the video or not, but there's the metal bumper, and then this part that's ugly is just like a cap, some kind of a plastic cap. So I'm gonna drill out these rivets on the front, and that will allow me to remove that whole bumper cap, and then I'm going to sand and paint the bumper underneath, the actual metal bumper, and then I'm also going to swap out the headlights with those new LEDs that AUXBEAM sent me, and I'm also gonna paint the front grille as well. So I'm gonna paint the headlight buckets and the grille, paint it all black, just black it out, and so that'll give me a nice, fresh, updated front end, and I wanted to do that now so that it has time to dry and I can put a couple coats on. So here we go. So I've owned quite a few Econolines in my van life experience, and this is the first one I've come across that has this weird rubber cap on the bumper. So I went ahead and pulled it off. I was a little concerned what the bumper might look like underneath, but fortunately, you know, this one just had a little bit of surface rust, but otherwise the bumper itself was in good condition. There was no large big damage or scrapes or you know, no big serious rust to it. So definitely the bumper was in good shape. Another thing I loved about working on the front end of this Econoline is everything just unbolts super easy, and this was definitely the easiest headlight swap out I think I've ever done on a vehicle. So the first thing I'm doing before you paint any surface is you want to prep it as best as you can. And so for me, I just fill the bucket with soapy water, and then I got this scrub brush, and I'm just wiping everything down. In general, it was pretty clean already, but it had like some bug guts and some dust on it. So you want to just get it really as clean as you can, of course, before you hit it with the spray paint. I chose a 220 grit sandpaper for the bumper. It allowed me to do everything in a single pass and get really good results. Here we go. Nice and smooth. All the rust spots are gone. Boom, boom. So that's what we wanted. There was just a tiny amount of surface rust, and it was kind of poking up in some spots. So I just wanted to smooth it down so that now when I hit it with the spray paint, it'll all be flush. So watch how I apply the paint. You want to start pulling the trigger before your nozzle is over the item you're painting, and then you want to release the trigger after you've completely passed the item that you're painting. So the idea is when you move the spray can over the item you're applying the paint to, you have a full steady stream with constant pressure, and you only start and stop when you're not pointing at the item you're painting. That will help eliminate runs and splatters in your paint. So one thing I've learned after years of spray painting plastics is you don't have to buy the fancy, expensive trim plastic bumper paint. You can just use regular spray paint, just do extra coats. You know, I like to do at least 3 coats of base and then 3 coats of clear. That'll be a good amount, that'll be durable and last a long time, and it'll cover any small imperfections in the plastic. Now, the way I'm painting this bumper, I don't recommend you guys do this. This is just me being kind of lazy and in a hurry, and I have a ton of experience, but I'm just using this little piece of cardboard to kind of keep overspray down, but I'll tell you what, there was a little bit of black that got onto my white paint, so definitely don't recommend this method. All right, so here we are. This is the next day. I let all the parts cure overnight in the van. You can see that gloss black is really nice. I was kind of debating, you know, it seems like most people go with like a flat black or a matte black these days, but I was like, you know, I'm gonna go with the gloss black. You just don't see gloss that much anymore, and I really like how it turned out. The plastic does have a little bit of a texture to it, so if you see a little bit of like an eggshell, that's not from the paint, that's from the actual plastic itself. The Ford cap, this was cool. This guy actually unbolted, which was nice. It actually had screws on the back, so I was able to take that out, shoot the paint over it, and then just drop it back in. So anyway, I think it turned out really well, and everything ended up getting 3 coats of gloss black base And then I got 3 coats of clear as well. To give you guys an idea on time frame, I started this job at about 9 a.m. and you know, to do the 3 coats, if you read the can of paint, you're supposed to allow 20 minutes between coats. So to pull everything off, wash it, do 3 coats of base at 20 minutes a piece and 3 coats of clear at 20 minutes a piece, it really was an all-day job. I didn't end up getting finished until, you can see in this video, the sun's kind of going down. You know, it wasn't all day of working. There was a lot of just dry time, so it wasn't like a ton of labor, but it definitely was a full day project. And when I ended up putting everything together, it was actually, this was actually the next day, because I did let it just sit overnight, because by the end of the first day, the stuff was still a little bit tacky. So even though it was like technically dried, I didn't want to quite put it in place yet. But man, I sure am happy with how it turned out. The finished product, especially those headlights, just really pop. And I gotta say, the van went from looking like a pretty ghetto, old, you know, used rig to actually looking a little bit custom and a little bit fancy. I'm super stoked with how it turned out. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments if you like it or what you would have done different. All right, here it is. Got it all wrapped up right as the sun's going down. What do you think, guys? Turned out pretty good. See the bumper. We got the black bumper, got those new LED headlights, looking clean. Gloss black headlight bezels, gloss black grille, and we saved the Ford emblem, heck yeah. And now it's very obvious that I have some paint chips there on this little white metal strip in between, so that might be the next step. Not anytime soon, I don't think, but when I get back to some painting, I might go ahead and hit those rock chips. But anyway, that's it. I think a nice little front end upgrade. It sure looks a heck of a lot better than it did when I started. So I'm excited to go out and hit the streets with those LED lights and see how much better they perform.